All right. So, have you ever looked at your A1c results and felt that sinking feeling in your chest like, oh my gosh, not again? You've been trying, you've been cutting back, you've been walking more, you've taken the medications, even though you didn't want to, and yet your numbers are barely moving. Well, if that's you, I want to say this clearly right now. You are not doing this wrong. Okay, encouragement. You are not doing this wrong. So, for those who don't know me, I am Dr. Amanda, and I am a lifestyle medicine physician and owner of Adkins Enlightenment Lifestyle Medicine. And we are accepting new patients, just so you see that. And today we're going to talk about why your A1C may not be improving, even when you're genuine. I cannot pronounce that today. When you're genuine and trying. And what actually helps move it is in a sustainable way. So don't be discouraged, okay? Because this conversation that we're going to have today, conversation, because I want you to, put your things in the chat, is not about, um, it's not about blame. So hopefully I can still hear me and see me. If I look down, it's just to see the kind of comments, questions. Um, it's about understanding your body and how it's responding all along. Okay, so just come with open mind, come with your questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. Okay, so don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends as we're going along. Okay, so just so you know, like I have seen, so many patients with a diagnosis of diabetes, and I'll have what I will call the good patient story. And I see this pattern all the time, and it's women that tell me, doc, I don't eat bad. I don't drink soda, even though I really love my Coca-Cola, and I follow what you've been telling me, and I follow what, my doctor's telling me, and I just feel stuck. And what happens is in a lack of effort, it's a lack of context. Okay. And what we need to know is that A1C1 is not not a scorecard for you. Okay. It is just a 3 month average of what we call glucose or sugar exposure. Okay. It reflects what you eat, how often you eat it, how stressed you are, how well you're sleeping, how your liver releases sugar, and how insulin resistant your cells are. Because remember, we talk about inflammation and insulin resistance with a diagnosis of diabetes, and then insulin resistance also has other issues for some people. It may show up as, like PCOS or something like that. So if we are only changing one of those things, and it's usually food, then you're usually not surprised when your number barely moves, right? And I harp on, nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. You get the biggest bang for your buck. But for some people, it may be some of the other things, okay? So something that you may be rarely told in your doctor's visits is that if you have insulin resistance, it's for years. Okay, if you've had the insulin resistance for years, it's not of all of a sudden thing, and your body doesn't respond quickly to surface level changes. Okay, so your liver may still be overproducing glucose. Your muscles still may not be absorbing the glucose efficiently, that's the insulin resistance, or the stress hormones may be pushing your glucose up even when you eat well. Okay, so again, it's not a failure, it is just your physiological makeup. And again, it is not about trying harder. Okay, we want to we don't want to actually try harder. We want to be more consistent with what we're doing. And even though it seems like it's not changing, knowing that things underneath are changing. And it's sometimes like that foundation, like a building. They have to use a scenario of like when you want to build a very, very tall building, you have to build a very, very deep foundation. And sometimes this is that foundation work that has to be reworked for you to actually see the changes on the outside. Because it's like, oh my gosh, this big old hole they're digging down in the ground. What is that doing? I thought they were building, 100-story skyscraper. Why are they going, down in the ground? But you definitely need to do that underground work and get that going back again and fix that, what was going on in your body for years and years and years. Okay. So what will actually help? Consistent fiber rich meals. And well, if you watch any of my videos, talk about how deficient we are with fiber. And I'll give you an example. Like the other day, I was just like running, and I was like, let me just grab this here, and I was like, oh my gosh, Amanda, you have not eaten your fiber today, and you don't go around eating fiber, but I'm like, where's my leafy greens? Where's my carrots I usually have in my bean dip, all those things that are, those full things of fiber. And I'm like, I was just rushing around and I was like, I got to make sure at the next meal that I had my fiber rich foods. Okay. And again, sometimes it's just like, you just know life gets in the way and you're just like, woo. And I was mind blown yesterday. I was like, woo, girl, you got to, let's go. You can do it. Your pep talk. Like I'll be telling y'all, like sometimes I talk to myself. So I'm out here, telling you things. And like when I hear it in the video and like I'm reminding myself also. So that's why I want you to share it, because sometimes, people just need that reminder of what is actually going to help and what's working. And that sometimes we miss the mark, and it's definitely okay. Just the next step is to get back on track. To getting back on track is just to take the next step forward. Okay. So don't get discouraged. Even if you're like, I've tried these and I haven't got perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about, just consistent, trying to be consistent at trying to be consistent, trying to be consistent at trying to be consistent. And you just to keep working. It is definitely a lifelong journey and never a destination. So we can always inch our way to getting better. Okay. We also want to make sure we're having protein in each meal. And again, protein is not just meat. Protein is not meat. Meat does not just equal protein. Protein does not equal meat. You can get protein from so many different sources, and it's not just meat. That also has a lot of fat and cholesterol for some people, and some of the meat. So most of the meat. So you can look at your beans, you can look at your lentils, you can look at your nuts and seeds. Even the some our leafy greens has a little bit of protein. So just make sure you're eating the protein at the meal, along with your fiber rich meals. And then strength training. And we are in this month of February at this point in time, and we talk a lot about heart and walking, getting in your 10,000 steps. But we cannot forget that the heart needs strength training. Like our body, our muscles need that strength training. And even if it's just a little bit of lightweight resistance, if you haven't done it before, if you have, go up on the weight. This is your reminder to go up on the weight. Again, go up on the weight if you've been doing it for a while. But don't forget to do your strength training out there, because we definitely want your heart to be healthy. And then also doing that strength training, your muscles get stronger and you do decrease that insulin resistance. So that's what we're trying to do when we're trying to get the A1c down. We want to decrease that insulin resistance threshold there. Okay. We want to make sure you are having good, restorative, regular sleep. And you're like, Dr. Amanda, these are the answers to all the things. Hey, I can't help it that it works. We have to look at these things. And again, you may look at this list and you're like, I do 1, 2, and 3, or I do 1, 3, and 5, whatever it may be. But sometimes we need to look at those things that we're not doing to actually help, because that can like push us over the threshold, because we're doing, 1, 3, and 5 consistently. But maybe if we add in 2, then that will actually push us there and we'll like see these numbers drop. Okay. Again, it's not about perfection. It's just adjusting what you're doing. And these little tweaks sometimes can change for the better. And you're like, oh my gosh, I was doing all these things all this time. And now I just did this one thing and it seemed like I broke through the wall. And that's what I'm here to encourage you to do. That's why I give you several things that it could be, and you just want to look at it. And then here again, with Adkins Enlightenment Lifestyle Medicine, we really try to help break down that for people to where you're looking at like what you're doing. Okay, you're doing this great. But maybe let's look at this aspect of it. If we just, tweak this one thing again, if it's adding in the fiber, if it's actually doing the strength training, if you're not sleeping that full 8 hours, you're rarely sleeping 6. Well, let's try to increase that over the next 3 months and see how your A1c responds to that. It can be, as simple as that. Okay. Again, it's not just a one-time advice, ongoing adjustments. And that again is why I'm on here. And you may hear me talk about, different aspects of health and wellness for you and for me and for all of us, and how things can just be tweaked and changed. Okay. It's not, that's why the quick visits don't work, because healing requires time and guidance. Okay. So we need to actually make sure that we take that time, we get that guidance to go forward. Okay. So again, if you are feeling stuck, and you're like, I know exactly what works and it is just not working, even though you're telling me this works, again, come on in www.dramandamd.com. We'll be more than happy to assist you, to help you with making those tweaks. You can book directly through the website, because we are a 100% virtual practice, and you do not have to leave the comfort of your own home to come and see me. Okay. So do that today. Don't delay. Don't be like, okay, I'm just going to see if I can tweak this myself. No, because guidance over time, that actually helps you to make the difference. Okay. So imagine, instead of feeling defeated by your labs because you understood them, imagine that your A1c actually became feedback and not fear. Imagine walking into your next appointment virtually with confidence, feeling confident, hopeful, and informed. Okay. That's possible because you do not have to do this alone. Okay. You are not alone in this. We're here to help. And blessed health to y'all. Have a happy Friday and happy Love Day.